Hey lovely Flosstube people, it's Mika. I'm back with my third video. I hope you are all doing well and I hope you are enjoying some happy stitching time when you're watching this. I want to thank you all so much for your lovely sweet comments on my second video. You guys are just out of this world sweet. I mean, two of you even said that I look like Liv Tyler. I mean, for freak's sake, how do I respond to that? It's way too sweet, but I thank you all so much. And yeah, I thought it was time to make a third video. I want to do a couple of things in this video. I want to show you my latest start. I want to do Adele's lovely Fer Realz Tho tag. I know I am quite late to that particular party, but it is such a fun one that I don't want to skip it. And I am going to show you my stitching spot. I don't know how that works for you guys, but for me personally, I love seeing how other people stitch, how their setup is, which accessories they use, and so on. So I'm going to do that, and I hope you enjoy it. Before I really dive into talking, I want to apologize if I maybe sound strange or say strange things. I have a massive cold, so my nose is all clogged up. And yesterday, one of my wisdom teeth got extracted, so I am filled to the brim with painkillers. And I have no idea if I can make a coherent story out of all of this. If I don't, and if I ramble, I am so sorry, and I promise that I'll do better next time. So, first up, I have a new start. As a lot of you will know, the second hate challenge started on the 1st of April. And since you had to start on a new page to enter to the challenge, and my lovely little blue is not yet finished on page 2, I decided to start a new hate. There's one that I bought in July of last year, and it's by Hannah Lynn, and she is called Mini Celia. I don't have to tell you why I love this, right? It's getting a bit too obvious, isn't it? This is Mini Celia. I'm normally not really into Hannah Lynn, but this lady is just wow. I mean, she is yet another fairy. I know I should really stop, but I mean those wings and those eyes and especially that hair. I mean, look at it. Oh, so pretty. So I've had her in my stash for over half a year. I originally planned to start her on January 1st because there was a New Year start, a New Year, New Start challenge going on the Facebook group. But because back in the time I was still stitching on my boyfriend's birthday gift, I thought I should not do that. But then the second challenge came around and I thought this is a perfect opportunity. I'm stitching Mini Celia on a hand-dyed fabric by Under the Sea Fabrics because there is a lot of background going on and I wasn't really very tempted to stitch all of that. And luckily I found, thanks to theviewer.net, a lovely hand-dyed fabric by Under the Sea Fabrics. Here you go. It's called Goldenrod. It's a 25 count Lugana, and I think it just matches the background of Mini Celia perfectly. What you see here is not yet blue at all. It's all black, all DMC 310. The Hate second challenge says is a cross-country stitching challenge. I've never done cross-country, so this is very exciting for me. And I'm stitching here the outline of her hair. I originally started on page 4 on the top right of the design, but since then they have altered the rules a little bit and they have clarified that you really need to stitch a full page to participate in the challenge. And as you can see, the top right corner has a few hundred stitches of background, and since I'm leaving those out, page 4 would not qualify, so I've moved a page to the left and I'm now going to stitch page 3, which is this page. It will mostly be her lovely blue hair, and a little bit of her forehead and maybe even her eyebrow. So I'm going to stitch this area. And I have a question. I'm curious. I'm stitching this with normal DMC 310. Now I know that a lot of people prefer anchor black to DMC 310. I have tried stitching with anchor black on the Clouds Factory design that I did for my boyfriend, and it was okay. But to be honest, I don't really notice a difference between anchor black and DMC 310. And if I'm honest, I found anchor black to be a bit more fluffy and a bit less shiny. So I'm curious to hear what people prefer in anchor black. So if you prefer stitching with anchor black instead of DMC 310, please let me know what you think, and I might give it another go. So here once again is Mini Celia. I think I will have, wow, 1,000 stitches of black to do before I can finally move on to a blue color, but I will persevere and I will do it, and so far I'm really enjoying this challenge. It's going to be tough to finish because we have 2.5 months to complete a full page, and that means that I will have to stitch 100 stitches every day. Now for a lot of you that is absolutely no challenge, but for me it is. I normally only stitch in the weekends. So I will really have to try and find the time, and it might mean that until half of June I will only be stitching on Mini Celia. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna try, and so far I'm really enjoying her. So that's my new start. Then I'm gonna move on to Adele's lovely For Realz tag. I'm gonna take out my phone because I made a screen cap of the questions, and otherwise I can't remember. Here we go. For Realz Tho, what level of stitcher do you consider yourself to be? I think this is a very funny question because I've watched a lot of videos, a lot of Flosstube videos in which people have done this tag, and I have yet to encounter the first person who will just say, I'm an advanced stitcher. You know, I think we are way too modest. If you see how many lovely projects and how many lovely threads and fabrics and specialty stitches and whatever are going on Flosstube and on Instagram, there are quite a lot of advanced stitchers out there. And yet everybody is like, ooh, I'm gonna go with intermediate because I don't want to come across as being arrogant. I also consider myself an intermediate stitcher, simply because I have never tackled specialty stitches or specialty threads. I've never stitched on linen. I really prefer even weave so far. So, you know, if I put myself in the same category as stitchers who say they are intermediate, but in my eyes they are really advanced, it feels a bit weird. But, you know, I'm definitely not advanced, but I'm also no way a beginner. So the intermediate category is quite broad, and I think we should have a little bit more self-confidence on here. Second question, For Realz Tho, how many whips and UFOs do you honestly have? This includes things you gave up on and threw out. I have 8 whips going on at the moment. Mini Celia is my 8th one, and I think that's okay. I think that's doable. And I have 1 UFO left. There's quite some nice news to report on that matter. I showed you the 2 UFOs that I have in my first video, my tiger and my lady with the dog. And since then, I have been able to rehouse my tiger project. The lovely Laura reached out to me and said, oh, I would love to do your tiger. So we emailed a bit back and forth, and I sent tiger to her. And this week I got a message that she has received him and that she is going to stitch on him, and she's going to keep me up to date with his progress, which I think is just absolutely wonderful. Laura, if you're watching, I really hope you are enjoying tiger immensely. So that's really very cool. And another stitcher has expressed interest in my lady with the dog design. So I might end up with having 0 UFOs. Now, wouldn't that be cool? Question number 3. For Realz Tho, are you enabled easily? I would say yes and no. Yes, I am enabled easily because I fall in love with designs easily. For instance, Mini Celia, I fell for her as soon as I saw her. Joan Elliott's Cinderella is one that I fell for. Amy Stewart's Little Blue is one that I instantly fell for. And I just had to have them. I had to get them up and I had to start them. The urge was just... And on the other hand, no, I am not easily enabled by the community. And what I mean by that is that I'm not somebody who jumps on the bandwagon or somebody who has a fear of missing out. There tend to be these hugely popular designs. For instance, last year there was Box of Delights, Save the Stitches, and Mirabilia's Raven Queen towards the end of the year. And this year so far there is Santa's Village by Country Cottage Needleworks, and there are the 2 stitch-alongs by Frosted Pumpkin and Clouds Factory. They're all very cute, they're all very nice, but because they have become so insanely popular and because everybody seems to be stitching them and because like 25% of my Instagram timeline consists of those projects, I have absolutely no interest in stitching them for myself. That even happened to Amy Stewart's A Stitch in Time. When that design was first announced, I was over the moon. I mean, the story behind it is amazing, how she designed it specifically for the Hate community. The design itself is lovely, it's so bright, it's so colorful, it has this beautiful winter blue banner on the bottom pages. And then when it was finally released, everybody seemed to be buying it and kissing it up and starting it. And that made me lose interest. I don't know why, I can't really explain it, but I don't know. At this moment I have no single interest in stitching it for myself, and I would rather have it on a blanket or on a mug or on a poster on the wall. Question number 4. For reals though, do you suffer from SADD, Stitcher's Attention Deficit Disorder? That's a nice question. I don't know yet. For a long time I used to be a one whip at a time girl, and that worked out fine for me. And since I started Little Blue in the summer of last year, I've been working a rotation and I like that as well. I think I might find out if I suffer from this by Mini Celia. Because like I just told you, I will have to do 100 stitches a day on average to finish the page by June 15th. And that means that I will probably stitch on her and nothing else for 2.5 months. I don't know if I can manage that. Maybe my attention will be pulled away. I am in the lucky position that the fabric I chose for my Mirabilia is taking much longer than expected. I've ordered a Murano opal from Crafty Kitten, and that fabric has been out of stock for a long time. So it's taking way longer for that to be made and to be sent to me. So that is definitely helping. But should that fabric arrive before June 15, oh, I don't know. So time will tell. Question number 5. Have you ever finished a full coverage project, for instance a Hate, a Tilton Crafts, etc.? Sorry. If your answer is no, how far have you got? My answer is no. And the furthest I've got is a page and a half on my Little Blue. Question 6. For reals though, do you enjoy confetti? No. I like the effect that confetti gives, and I like to have variation between blocks of colors and confetti, but to stitch pure confetti, like for instance my Gaudi stitch, oh man, that's heavy. I mean, it's still fun when you get to see how all the colors mingle and stuff, but oof, it goes so slow, and I'm already quite a slow stitcher. Question 7. For reals though, how many finishes do you have this year, and how does this compare to your WIP UFO number from question 2? I have one finish, one fully finish this year so far, which was the birthday gift for my boyfriend, and that compares, I think, pretty well to the 8 WIPs that I have going. For reals though, are you bothered by your answer in the last question? Would you rather have a smaller or larger number? No, I'm completely fine by that. I'm not somebody who rushes through a project to see it hanging up on the wall. I just really enjoy the process. I enjoy, putting in X after X. So no, I'm not bothered by that. For reals though, do you have any perhaps embarrassing, dirty little stitchy secrets? I tend to be a very bad girl when it comes to ending my threads, and I don't have enough thread left to make the final stitches of a block of color. Let me try to explain that better. Let's say that I have been doing a block of 30 stitches of the same color, for instance on Cinderella's dress or something like that. And I am very close to reaching the end of that block of colors. There is about 3 stitches left to do, and I actually don't have enough thread for that anymore. I should end the thread, thread a new one, and do those final 3 stitches. I tend to become impatient and not do that. And I will just pull the needle through and make those final stitches way too tight to simply finish that block of color with that thread so I can move on to the next color. I know I shouldn't do that. I know it doesn't look good, and I know it's bad for the variation in tension, but that's something that I tend to do. I don't know if it's a dirty little secret. Well, anyway, it's not a secret anymore now, but there you go. And the final question, for reals though, I dare you to show me your messiest back. That is definitely the back of my confetti hell piece Gaudi Gold. Here you go. This is the front. As you can see, since last time, I stitched on him a little bit. And here is the back. Ta-da-da-da. There you go. No shame. You can definitely see the backs of my projects. I don't care. So that was Adele's tag. Thank you very much, Adele. It's a fun tag. I really enjoyed seeing you answer your own questions and seeing everybody else participate in it. And now I am going to turn the camera around and show you my stitching spot. So here we go. Welcome to my stitchy spot. This is a table in my living room where I love to stitch. It's absolutely my favorite place to be stitching. I can also stitch on the couch, but I find that it numbs my arms, so I tend to stitch here. For various reasons. One of them is that it has a lot of light. There is my balcony right behind it, and if I quickly go here, there is a big window to the street side. So there is a lot of light shining on my project, which I like a lot. Let's take a look. You will see some familiar things, bobbin boxes, or jars, Q-snaps, frames and things. This is of course the most important thing, my whip. This is Mini Celia, the one that I showed you at the beginning of the video, in an 11 by 17 inch Q-snap. That's my favorite format of Q-snap to work with. And it is seated on the Siesta Frames lap stand. Let me give you a closer look. This is a very simple, very sturdy lap stand from a UK company called Siesta Frames. I bought it somewhere in the spring of 2015, and it really is one of my favorite accessories. It's very sturdy. You can set it up quick and easy to suit your stitching position, and I really like this one a lot. To the right is a stand where I normally put my tablet, but I'm holding that in my hands now. Then there is my ort jar. Behind that is a place where I store my various stitching lights. The small one is a clip-on light that I can put on the top of my Q-snap, and the other two are bigger lights that are a lot brighter, and I tend to use those in the winter times. Well, behind that is the speakers for my laptop, my bobbin box, and then there's my laptop to the side. So when I'm seated here stitching, I enjoy Flosstube. On the left of me, there's my bobbin box for mini cilia. My scissor is in there. This is a needle case, a lovely needle case that I just bought on Etsy with a magnet inside that holds my needles in place. And normally I will have a drink here, but not at the moment because I'm filming. If we go to the left, there is one of my bookcases. And the third shelf from the bottom is where I store my bobbin boxes. And then there is this huge box on the floor. Normally it lives in my spare room, my guest room, but for the purposes of this video I took it out, sorry. This is where I store my stitchy stuff. Let's have a look. The top drawer is where I store all my fabrics and my threads. How do I do this? This is where my fabric lies. These are threads. This is, for instance, the Caron water lilies and the beads for my Mirabilia. This is a needle minder and a lovely Mill Hill kit that I got from the wonderful Opal, the Hyper Monkey, at Instagram as a giveaway. My threads for my Christmas project are here, and there's a lot more fabric going on. The middle drawer is where I keep my whips. I'm a very lazy person and I usually just keep them on the Q-snaps. This is Harry Potter, the top one. He is on a really big Q-snap, so I've taken him off. There's my Gaudi stitch, my Iris Fairy, Cinderella, and there you go. And then the bottom one is just, you know, for whatever. I keep some hairpins in there if I don't use a grime guard. There's grime guards in there. There is spare Q-snaps. There is my kit for my Night Fairy and stuff like that. So that's my setup. Like I said, this huge thing normally lives in the spare room, so I'm gonna take it back after I'm done videoing. But well, I hope you liked it. Let's go back to my stitchy spot one last time. And once I'm done videoing this, I'm gonna work on lovely mini cilia. I really hope that I can finish the black soon. I think it will take me at least another week, but here's to hoping, so that I can finally start on those lovely, lovely, lovely blue colors in her hair. I mean, look at these colors. They're just waiting to be stitched, and I can't wait to stitch them. So there you go, guys. I hope you had fun watching. I'll see you next time. Happy stitching. Bye.